What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel and UFC Montreal. Bonjour, je m'appelle. I know it's not even in France, but they speak French in Montreal, I think. Oh no, that's Quebec, I'm retarded. Never mind, I can't be fucked restarting. But, what am I doing? Canada, Canadians, you have a pay-per-view. I'm not sure why. You have no ranked fighters in the men's divisions, except for Ariel Helwani. But there you go, you're getting a pay-per-view. You know, it happens once a year. Canada they get a bunch of random fucks shipped over there. They get a bunch of local talent, shipped over there. And then they get some fucking random international fighters to save the card because they have no people that would make a card entertaining. Because if you tried to build a Canada card with only Canadians, then you would end up with a fucking shit fight night. Not a pay-per-view. But anyway, that's my retarded intro out of the way. Like and subscribe. Welcome to the Left Lane channel. If you haven't subscribed already, you should do so. Because who is providing this level of retardation in their intros? So yeah, anyway, but realistically, who cares about UFC 315? The real place to be is Azamat Bakov's Twitter. That's the real exciting part of the week. No one really cares about Fight Week, to be honest. But anyway, I guess I have to pick fights. So yeah, the card's coin flippy as fuck. I'm probably going to go like 7-5 on picks again. But anyway, let's get started. We're going to start off with the first fight of the night. I just realized I was right the first time. Montreal's literally in Quebec. I'm fucking retarded. But no, my instincts were right. I was correct the first time, and then I tried to be smart and correct it away from my original intelligence that I have. But anyway, the fights. Let's get started with those. First fight of the night, Beksat Elmakan versus Brad Katona. I'm picking Brad Katona. No, I'm not picking Brad Katona. I'm not picking a man who's 5'4" at bantamweight. That's not happening. If you're 5'4", you got to be weighing at least 105 pounds for me to pick you in a fight. But yeah, they need to make a men's atom weight division is what they need to do. They need to make a men's proton. We need to call it a proton weight division. An electron weight division is what we need. Just what's the most diabolical name for a division? Let me know in the comments. What's the most just disrespectful name for a lighter weight class that you can think of? Anyway, this fight, it's actually pretty good. I could see Katona winning because Elmakan is very unproven. Like, it's kind of one of those cases like originally Lopez against Movzar or originally Arman against Islam. And it can either turn out like that, where the guy who comes in and gives that like scary Russian undefeated guy a prospect a tough fight, or in their first fight debut short notice, like Lopez did with Movzar, like Arman did with Islam, or it could end up being some, like, I'm trying to think of an example where a guy stepped up on short notice, gave the guy a tough fight, and then turned out to just be shit. A Basil Hafez, for instance, would be an example of that. Fighting JDM, we all thought, look at him taking a beating off JDM, went to the decision, had a lot of success. Surely he's good. Nope, he gets chinned by fucking Oban Elliott, and almost loses to Mickey Gall. So that's the case. It's like, are we going to see this dude be really good, or are we going to see this dude be shit? I think I'm more likely to say he's going to be really good. That is my instinct here. Beksat does appear to have a level of talent. Do I think he'll be a guy who gets into the top 5 in the rankings, and we're potentially talking about a rematch like with Arman Islam or Lopez Movzar? No, I don't believe so. He is small for the weight class, but you can't be smaller for the weight class than Brad Katona. So I'll back him. He's going to have about a 10 centimeter, about 4-inch, 3.5-inch reach advantage, so it's not going to be too much. But also, Brad Katona is 33, and not too old, I know, but he's been around for a while. He's not really that good. He got back into the UFC, and you're like, oh, maybe he could decide to make a second run, and then it's like, no, he's actually just not very good. He lost to Garrett Armfield. He lost to Jean Matsumoto, who are both decent. Garrett Armfield less so. But Matsumoto's a good fighter. But I just think Beksat's good. I think he's got good striking. Could he get just wet blanketed and out grappled here? Yes, because his takedown defense didn't look that good against Umar. But with a full camp, I'm going to back his skills to come through. He's been out for over a year. I think he got injured in the Umar fight, but I got to imagine he's been working, grinding. And he's young too. He's mid 20s. He's gonna be improving at a faster rate than Brad Katona. So that's my logic. Anyway, let's move on to the next fight. I'm keeping this video under 30 minutes. Come back. This video, that comment's gonna age like milk. But anyway, comment down below if that comment aged like milk and the video went over 30 minutes. Anyway, let's get on to the next fight. Next up, we got Daniel Santos versus Jung Yong Lee. Don't ask me why we got a Brazilian fighting a Korean in Canada. I think Jung Yong Lee was supposed to fight Gavin Tucker, who is Canadian. That was going to be probably a pretty mid fight. I think this fight will be better. This is actually an upgrade, slight upgrade, as much as an unranked fight upgrade as you can get. The thing, I don't know what to think about Daniel Santos. I'm going to pick him to win, and this will probably age like fucking spoiled cheese. But like, this is going to age like, I don't know, some other food product that doesn't store well. But I'm going to pick him to beat Jung Yong Lee. Neither of these guys, like, we know to beat. If we don't really know if either of them are good. Like, using the eye test, Jung Yong Lee did look good against Blake Builder. But I'm going to just take a quick fucking glance at Blake Builder's record, because that dude's a bum. Apart from him fucking popping up on my Instagram reels doing some weird jiu-jitsu move on a sweaty fucking staph-infested mat, I've seen nothing impressive from this man, apart from doing some rolling back take in the fucking gym. But the man's 8-2. I don't think he's that good. His nickname is El Animal. That's just disgraceful. And he's lost to Kyle Nelson, which isn't a bad look, and he lost to Jung Yong Lee by decision. But I don't think Blake Builder is very good, and he's 34 years old, and his only win is a decision over Shane Young. You got to be finishing Shane Young, in my personal opinion. But apart from that, Jung Yong Lee, what's he done since then? He's not the most active guy, but neither is Daniel Santos. So this is battle of the inactivity, if we're being honest. If my shirto wants to fucking load, that would be brilliant. Jung Yong Lee's got a loss by TKO in his last fight to Haider Emil. That was in July. Before that, obviously, the decision. But even like a split decision with Ji Ya. And I'm going to just read out these names. And yeah, he's getting finishes, right? Like, he's got 4 wins by TKO, 3 wins by submission, 4 by decision. 2 of the decisions are in the UFC, the UFC / Road to UFC finals. But like, he had another decision loss a few years ago. And how old is he? He's 29, so I think he'll be improving. I think he'll be bigger than Daniel Santos, but I don't know. Like, he beat Kai Lu, and he beat Bin Chi, and he beat Hai Jin Park, and he beat fucking Si Yun Kim. Like, he's just beaten a whole lot of bums. Hang on. Si Yun Kim, is that the guy who just beat AJ Cunningham? He's actually pretty good. So if that's him, then I might reevaluate my selection. Because if he beat... No, that's an 8-6 bum. Never mind. Okay, I'm gonna stop fucking looking at records to try and justify my picks. I'm picking Daniel Santos. I don't care. He's high output. I like his style. He's aggressive. Is he probably gonna get chinned? Yeah. But my pure logic for this prediction is just gonna be I'm trusting being Brazilian as a better base for MMA than being Korean. That's my logic. I think Brazilians are more built for combat than Koreans. I guess, I don't know. Jung Yong Lee looks like a fucking, like, why has he got some weird ass, like, fake tan or some shit? Why are you looking like you're trying to do a bodybuilding routine, my guy? But Daniel Santos hasn't fucking fought. There is a worry that he's just undisciplined, because he was supposed to fight Davey Grant. He just didn't show up to weigh-ins, pulled out, clearly not an injury, because he's now fighting here, and they just sent him up to featherweight. So could he just be completely out of the game and just not caring? That is a potential. Will I just be a bitch and probably change my pick if he looks bad on the scale and looks out of shape? I most certainly will. But right now, the fight's even odds. I think it's close. So I guess I'll take the person that I think... Even though it's even odds on the, like, money-wise, more people I'm seeing are picking Jung Yong Lee. So I don't know. I'll take Santos. I need to fucking move on with these picks. Next up, we got some unks. We got some fucking geriatrics. This is a loser to the GFLR fight right now. Marc-Andre Barrel, 3-fight losing streak versus 4-fight losing streak. I really hope Buffer, with just like absolute energy and excitement, announces like, and coming in off a 3-fight losing streak, this guy is a bum. He got chinned in his last fight by Dustin Stoltzfus. Marc-Andre Barrel. Like, he needs to just announce like the negatives of these guys' careers. Like, Bruno Silva, this man got submitted by Gerald fucking Mirsha. He's not good at combat. Like, that's what we need with the announcements for this fight. But my initial lean was Bruno Silva. So if he wins, I'm actually going to be pissed at myself. I need to always just stick to my initial lean, because it feels like my initial lean was Dorita. My initial lean was fucking, what's the kid's name? D-Rod against Ponzi. And anytime I like go away from my initial lean, it always messes up. So what I'm going to need to do is stick to my initial lean, but I'm going to not do that here. I'm going to just pick my initial was like, oh, Bruno Silva's like not terrible. But then I just remembered that he's on a fucking 4-fight losing streak. And it's like, okay, you can kind of justify one here and there. You can like justify the Pereira loss. And then he actually chinned Tavares, which is a pretty good look. But then like, bro, he lost to fucking Ismail Nordiev, who was coming back into the UFC off like one win on the regional scene. Like, he was like 1-2 in his last 3, or like 2-2 in his last 4. And he got a random shot back into the UFC, just came in and just schooled Bruno Silva. So what I'm going to do is think like Marc-Andre Barriault, I just think has like kind of no chin and is just a bit shit defensively. But like a year and like 4 months ago, like 16 months ago, this dude went to a split that shouldn't have been a split, but a decently close decision with Chris Curtis compared to who's actually good. Like, Chris Curtis gave Kopylov a tough fight compared to fucking Bruno Silva, who, apart from taking a beating off Pereira, his career accomplishment is like Tavares win, and apart from that, it's literally nothing. But for some reason, we all just kind of know Bruno Silva and think this dude's like a vet that's just been around in the sport for ages. Like, got finished and rocked on the feet by Brendan Allen and subbed, I think, or finished by TKO, I forget. And then, what was it after that? It was a whole string of losses. There was the Shara Magomedov loss. There was a whole bunch of shit. So I just think Bruno Silva at this stage is just not committed to the game. Maybe he knows that finally being on a 4-fight losing streak might get him his walking papers if he loses a 5th in a row. We really should not be hosting fights in the UFC where the loser might be on a 5-fight losing streak. Like, there should be no case where someone who's considered to be one of the, like, in the best promotion in the world is about to go 0-5 in their last 5, all in that UFC promotion. That is disgraceful. So cut the loser of this fight 100%. I'm surprised Marc-Andre didn't get cut after his last fight getting chinned by Dustin fucking Stoltzfus. But bad looks on both sides. Stay away from this fight. It's pretty close just because, yeah, they're probably going to slug it and it's going to be like, is Bruno Silva just shit and washed? Or does Barriault just have no chin, or a combination? What's going to be the outcome? I don't know, but we'll see. Anyway, let's move on. You thought you were confused why a Brazilian and a Korean are fighting in Canada? How about I give you a New Zealander and a Croatian? You know, that's what we need in Canada because, again, we just don't have enough Canadian talent to fill these cards. I maintain you could have fucking put this fight and, like, the Kutalaba-Bukowskis fight on last week's card and put fucking Gillian Robertson and Surrey City on this card. Like, just put all the Canadians on one card. Who cares? They're all going to have mid-performances anyway. And both of them ended up winning. So at least Canada would have gone 2-9 on the night instead of like 0-6 like last time. So what we need is to just keep all Canadians on Canada cards. Just don't infest the other cards with these soy fucks, these talentless individuals. No, City's not terrible and Robertson is good as far as women go. But what fight am I actually predicting? Navajo Sterling, Ivan Erslan. It took me about 50 seconds to announce the fight. I'll pick Navajo Sterling. Ivan Erslan came in, again, with not even an impressive regional background and lost a pretty clear decision to Iwan Kutelaba. Again, didn't get blown out of the water, didn't get finished, at least he made it to the cards. I think that was just a Kutelaba, though, rebuilding, trying to get a win. And he actually has now built together 2 wins in a row. So, Kutelaba fighting on this card, can he get 3 wins in a row for what I guarantee would be like the first time since he joined the UFC? But Navajo Sterling, yes, he took the GOAT Taco Tokos to a fucking Tuco Tarkos to a decision. But I think that's one of those cases where, like, debut, you just look a bit mid. Everyone gets baited. I guarantee you everyone fucking bet Navajo Sterling by KO. But only the great Umar Sai and the great Zhang Mingyang can finish Taco Tokos in the first round. Navajo takes him to a decision. But I think he'll be improving rapidly. He's pretty young, I assume. Training a CKB. You know, probably just has that Carlos Olberg fucking just be very mid at fighting, but just manage to find your way through the rankings. Plot armor type of shit with that. He's got a very similar style to Olberg, I'd say. Like, he's got that kind of fluke power potential, but at the end of the day, he's probably just going to turn into a fucking range kickboxer. So I'll pick Navajo Sterling, Ivan Erslan. I assume he's been finished. I think when I was predicting the Kutalaba fight, I was like, is this guy any good? Because obviously I knew nothing about him. And I think I saw that he'd been finished. Let me just double check. He's 14-4, not a particularly good record, 33 years old. Like, what's this dude's promise? What's he fighting for? He doesn't have aspirations for a title. If he does, he's delusional. Like, he's just here as a, like, hey, you want to fucking... Because I think Kutalaba was either supposed to fight someone else, or they just, I guess, wanted to fill a spot on that Paris card. But, like, yeah, he's been KO'd once and subbed once, so he got finished. Literally, the fights before, like, 2 fights before, this dude gets in the UFC coming off 1 win and 2-2 in his last 4. He got KO'd by Rafael Harach, or whatever the fuck this dude's name is, in KSW, some random bum. Like, kid's 20-5, 37. He got KO'd by a 37-year-old man. I'm picking another host selling by KO. Enough said. Anyway, let's move on this video. I'm changing the over-under to about 40 minutes now. Let's move on. Next up, you thought a Brazilian versus a Korean, and then a Croatian versus a New Zealander. That wasn't enough. Here's a Moldovan versus a Lithuanian. Again, we're getting real multicultural with this. Are you sure this couldn't... UFC, are you sure this wasn't supposed to be the International Fight Week card? Thank God it wasn't. But again, I cannot understand why they had 2 Canadians last week, and now they have 3 prelim fights. Not even like main card, like when it was BSD Alvarez, or like when it used to be Burns Morales or Natalia Silva Grassa, where you can be like, okay, that's a good matchup to have on pay-per-view rather than a fight night. Like, just unranked Canadians could have been on the Canada card, and we could have got the fun non-Canadians on the American fight night, and that card would have been a lot better than it ended up being with a fucking decision fest from Surrey City. You know, that's what we could have gotten. But no, Kutalaba versus Bukauskas. I'm gonna be picking E1 Kutalaba. Now, I will never tell any human being to ever lay money down on an Ion Kutalaba fight. I would say you're best off to just bet the under, but even sometimes he'll just have a weird stinkfest and go over. But he's coming off a win, fraud checking and taking, I believe, not the undefeated record, but the sort of hype train of Ibo Aslan, who I never thought was good. I was waiting to pick against him. I got baited into the power and the Ion Kutalaba being chinny thing. Thing is, I don't actually think Kutalaba's like that chinny. Like, Kutalaba's not just getting wobbled by nothing like fucking Johnny Walker and getting put out cold. Like, what are his losses? Because he has them, and he's got a lot of them, and he lost to Felipe Lins. So yes, is there a chance that Bukauskas just uses the range advantage and sticks him at range and kicks him and shit? Yes. But I do not like Modestas Bukauskas getting fucking cracked in close by Marcin Prachnio, or now the worst of his losses in hindsight is now getting KO'd badly by fucking Vitor Petrino, who we now know is shit. That's a terrible look. You cannot be getting KO'd by Vitor Petrino now in hindsight. Like, even Tyson Pedro made it to the cards with him and just had a stinkfest. Even Prachnio got, like, subbed on the ground in, like, round 3. Bukauskas got fucking laid out in round 2, like, walk-off KO'd. That's just a bad look to me. So now, again, Bukauskas, it just kind of seems like there's been so many hiccups in his career, I just can't trust him to string together some good form. Like, yeah, he looked nasty against fucking Sequeira. Sequeira is literally the biggest fucking bum that's ever existed. And the thing is, Kutalaba's losses are mostly submissions. Like, he got decision to Lins, TKO'd by Nzedriku, who is occasionally just good. Walker just kind of physicality bullied him around. I don't see Bukauskas being the same level of athleticism, like physicality threat that can just toss him around like a Ryan Spann or like a Johnny Walker, right? The wins aren't that good, but the wins are good when he's on. Like, Tanaboza put him away straight away. Ivan Arslan, shitty decision. Ibo Aslan, submission. Like, and he looked like he was actually improving some shit in that fight. Like, he does have a win over Khalil Roundtree 7 years ago. You know, people forget, man. But Bukauskas is 17-6. Kutalaba is 19-10. This is a disgusting fight. This is not a fight to be betting on at all. Bukauskas has some submissions, I guess, but I don't think he's going to go to that, and even if he does, I don't think Kutalaba is like as physically bullyable, if you know what I mean, as Prachnio. Like, Vitor Petrino was able to sort of like bully Prachnio around. Bakauskas was able to sort of bully Prachnio around a bit. I don't think Kutalaba's just that weak to kind of be tossed around and subbed on the ground. And he, fucking Prachnio fumbled a fucking, why are all these names so similar? Prachnio majorly fumbled a finish in that fight as well. But like, Sequeira's a bomb, Prachnio third round sub, struggled back and forth fight. I picked him there, so I got the pick right. But like, decision over Zach Palunga is an awful look. Decision over Tyson Pedro was decent at the time. Pedro was sick as fuck in that fight. He should have pulled out. He literally said he was like, couldn't fucking move properly. And apart from that, he beat the bums on Cage Warriors after his leg got snapped. So like, I'll just pick Kutalaba. I think he's like more aggressive. He's more willing to get in a firefight. And I think he's more capable of succeeding in a firefight. Anyway, yeah, let's keep moving. Women. Mid and midder. Jessica Andrade versus Jasmine Jasudavicius. Or whatever the fuck they're gonna say. I don't know. John Anik's probably gonna try and say it in like an accent on broadcast. But anyway, I'm not picking Andrade. I'm picking Jasmine to win. She's way bigger than Andrade. She's like an actual flyweight sized human, whereas Andrade is just a fucking nugget that like could probably cut to fucking atom weight. Like, I don't know. Like, I just don't. Andrade is old as fuck. Jasmine's 36, but it's like women ages don't really matter as much. I'm about to use a woman's age in the co-main event to justify predictions. Spoiler, as part of the prediction, to be fair. But let's check. Andrade, how old is this woman? She's old as fuck. She's 26 and 13. She's rocking the fucking female Anthony Smith record, bro. How is she 33? Hey? What? Okay, I take back what I said. Fucking Jasmine's 3 years older. How is Andrade 33 years of age? She looks like a 45-year-old lesbian mother. What? That's actually baffled me. That's a real-life reaction to me finding out Andrade is only 33. Good lord. Some women have it rough. She's at a 15-centimeter reach advantage. That's like 6 inches almost, like 5.5, you know. Rocking about that myself. Ladies, Natalia Silva. No, but Manon Fiora, no. But she's 15. She's like 6 inches shorter and like 6 inches less reach. I'm still baffled by the fact she's only 33. How is Jasmine 36? I guess Canadians don't really get into MMA super young. They're probably all fucking playing ice hockey and shit and lacrosse. But like, jeez, that is weird. Anyway, I'm picking Jasmine. She's got grappling chops, I guess. She can take her down. She looked decent against Bueno Silva last fight. This could be a tip. Like, Andrade is like, when was Andrade's last win? Because there's like a mathematical equation that you can use to figure out when Andrade is going to win a fight by random fluke TKO. Because she does it like once every 4 fights. Like, I guarantee you, take me back to a record, I'll pinpoint the one every time. She's coming off a loss. Before that, it was 2 wins. Before that, it was 3 losses. Before that, it was 3 wins. Before that, it was a loss. Before that, it was a win. Before that, it was 2 losses. Before that, it was 4 wins. Before that, it was a loss. 3 wins. Like, she's very patchy record. And it was like that. Subbed by Blanchfield. Finished badly early by Yan Janan. Subbed by Suarez. Then she KOs Mackenzie Dern, who can't strike for shit. Split decision with Marina Rodriguez is not aging that well in hindsight. To be fair, Marina's not very good. Not even a good version of Marina Rodriguez that she fought. And then she's kind of got danced around Natalia Silva. Jasmine's not going to fuck around on the feet. If she does, she's retarded. But even if she does, I just don't think Andrade's style of like bulldozing in with fucking spamming hooks, like look at fucking Juliana Pena maxing, just spamming the same punch over and over again. I don't know, that shit's gonna work. Jasmine's never been finished either. Her losses are to Cortez, which is a bad look to be fair, Natalia Silva, and Elise Reed. That's a terrible look. She shouldn't be minus 300, but to be fair, beating Miranda Maverick's a pretty good look. Cachoeira, she beat the fuck out of her. That was actually impressive. Fatima Klein's not terrible. Subbed Ariane Lipski. She's just been fighting in all these Canada cards, and then she does well in Canada. That's what I'll say. I think she steps up here. The Cachoeira fight was in Canada. She put a beating on her, and she subbed Ariane Lipski. That was on the Canada card too. So I think, and she also beat Miranda Maverick in Canada. So she's undefeated in Canada, from what I've seen. That's my logic. Let's move on. She's fought 3 times in Canada. She's undefeated. Let's move on. Next fight. Next up, this is just a hate watch. This is going to be a hate pick for me. I'm picking Radke to beat Mike Malott. Again, I picked Bo Nickel despite despising him. Bo Nickel was on my top 15 least favourite fighters list. And for some reason, my retard fucking dumbass picked him and put him in a multi, which lost all my money. Lost all my money in my betting account, alright? I'm trying to scrape back wins on fucking NBA playoff games, bro. What am I doing with my life? But, I'm not picking fighters that I hate. In some cases I will if I genuinely think they're just going to really win. But like if I'm like, oh, this dude's a favourite, I guess I'll pick him. Like with Bo Nickel, I'm like, oh, surely he's a favourite for the right reason. Like surely that means something, even though it just is because they're going to hype up Bo Nickel. But Mike Malott, I don't think he's very good. Like, nothing on his resume is actually impressive. Now, Radke, nothing on his resume, names-wise, is that impressive. But I like what he's doing more. Now, Mike Malott, originally, if he hadn't fucking gassed the fuck out and got bitched by Neil Magny, I would maybe rate him. But dude's 33 years old. Fun fact, he lost to Hakeem Dawodu, who's a featherweight. I'm not going to like that as a look for you. He got, mind you, TKO'd with punches and elbows in the first round by Hakeem Dawodu. Yes, we're talking about the same Hakeem Dawodu who's a UFC featherweight. Same guy. To be fair, that was in 2014. But still, he's a bomb. Anyway, but okay, let's look at the performances. Like, decision against Giles was atrocious, you know. If you're going to beat Giles, you got to kill him. Like, Giles dies against anyone who beats him. And he didn't die against Malott. Yeah, he clearly lost a fight, but how are you not killing Trevin Giles? Like, you're supposed to look mid against Giles like everyone does, and then lay him out cold. That's how it's supposed to happen. Prates did it, Dricus did it, you know. Gabriel Bonfim just subbed him straight away. Like, you should run over Giles, right? He doesn't. He just goes to a shitty, tepid decision. Maybe it was just him getting his fucking confidence back. His last 3 fights are in Canada. Yes, he subbed Adam Fugit in the second. Fugit's not good. Yes, he subbed Johan Lanus. Johan Lanus lost to Sam Patterson. Johan Lanus is a bum. Johan Lanus is not even on the roster. And he beat fucking Mickey Gould by TKO. Fucking congratulations. Welcome to the club. And he won his fight on fucking Contender Series. He's got submission chops, right? Which is the thing. Like, his background is more grappling. He's going to try and convince you he's a fucking striker. He's not. Watch him go to the press conference. He'll try and get a fucking chant going. The Canadians will cheer him because they need someone to cheer because they have no talent in the sport. And yeah, like, he'll do that. He'll try and play to the crowd and do his little fucking weird Canadian Michael Chandler bullshit. But like, his base at its core is grappling. 6 out of his 11 wins are by sub. 4 wins are by TKO. You know what that tells me? He's not fighting any good opponents. Because the one fucking win by decision was Trevin Giles, who is the best opponent he's fought, apart from Magny, who he lost to and would have beat by decision. To me, it's like he has no finishing potential over anyone actually good. Because all of his finishes are just against bums, right? And then the 2 fighters that he's fought that you could consider half decent, Trevin Giles and Neil Magny, it's a decision win and a TKO loss in the third, where he was gonna win a decision. Like, yeah, he was beating up Magny. Magny just gets beaten up by everyone. Compare that to Radke, who, if he's gonna lose fights, I think it's like getting caught on the feet, and I don't see him getting caught. And thing is, Radke's not a chinny dude. Like, he got put away with a knee to the body by Prates. Maybe Mike Malott's like way too big for him. I don't think so though. Like, I don't think this is going to be like a drastic size difference. Malott will probably look bigger. And yeah, Radke's 34, which I don't like, and he's turning 35. But he's young in the game. He's 10-4. Bad record, I know. 2 TKO losses. One's to Prates. One, again, he might be weak to the body because his other TKO loss was a body shot back in 2021. And he lost to Austin fucking Hubbard on the regional scene. That's a terrible look. Okay, I need to stop checking records because it's making my picks less confident. But what I'm saying is he's got early finishing potential and he's got actually nasty hands against Matthew Semmelsberger and Gilbert Urbina. Semmelsberger's not awful. Yeah, he looked shit in that fight. Semmelsberger's not like a bad fighter. So I'm going to pick Radke. Radke's going to say it again. Radke's going to call Canada a bunch of faggots, and that's going to be good fun. So that's what we need. Radke's doing his thing. Mike Malott, you're not winning. Mike Malott's probably going to win and just stink it up in Canada and have a mid-performance and try and get the crowd on his side, but I choose to cheer for good things. Radke's going to do it and say it again. Anyway, let's move on to the main card. How the fuck did I think I was keeping this under 30 minutes? I talk for too long. Next up, BSD. This is the mission. Gain BSD's aura back. You know, they were going to get him absolutely fucking assaulted and killed by Joel Alvarez. And then Alvarez pulled out. And then Mateusz Rebecki and Mauricio Rufo were offering to step in. And I was like, it'd be fun as fuck. It'd save the card. But BSD's health, you should probably not take that if you're his manager and smart. And yeah, they chose to, I don't know if they presented him with a line of opponents. I don't know what the deal was. I imagine UFC was just like, we could probably try and get one of these guys and maybe do a catch weight or do some bullshit. But it's this far down the line. Let's not try and like do a whole new matchup with fucking 5 days to go, 6 days to go. Let's just get this bum in there. BSD, get a win. And then we'll probably get you on the fucking Paris card in September. Like, that's my guess, is they kind of pivoted and they're like, we were going to kill him and we were going to be okay with Alvarez beating him, but now we at least have an excuse to get him a win. Because, like, you can't book him against fucking Kyle Propolek on a full camp. Like, if you can't give him some absolute bum while he's still ranked. Because BSD holds a ranking. So you can't book him on, like, an actual 6-8 week camp against fucking, like, Trevor Peak. Or even, like, that'd be fun, but, like, that's a bad example. You can't give this man, like, fucking Chris Duncan or like fucking Yanal Ashmuz while he's still ranked. You can't give him a bum. So it actually worked out kind of well for BSD and for the UFC if they do actually still believe in him somewhat and are trying to get him a win now, which they are clearly. They're like, well, they had no desire to keep up the sort of let's get BSD killed thing, because I think they were probably trying to build him with Alvarez and then like, okay, let's just repivot, let's just give him a can. Kyle Propolek, I'm not checking records for this. He lost to fucking Austin Hubbard, I'm pretty sure. Lost to some other bum, Nordin Taleb. This dude's not good. He's genuinely atrocious. The pick is just like, the pick is like 95% confidence BSD. Like, he'll run through this dude unless he's just completely shit now. The only 50-50 is just KO or sub. I think the dude's been subbed a few times. I don't think he's been KO'd. I don't even know. Don't quote me on that. But BSD should run over this fucking can, and then they'll get him on the Paris card. Rebecki fight would have been sick. I highly doubt Rebecki's making fucking weight unless he was preparing for something. Weird thing is, Gamrot said that BSD like turned him down, which I'm like, first of all, you're booked. Second of all, unless it was like, BSD, you can like delay, we'll just get you off the card and you can fight Gamrot in 2 weeks, in which case, like, that would have been a better opportunity, but BSD's like, I'm in Canada, I might as well just get a free paycheck and beat a can, and then actually get a full camp if I'm going to fight a good opponent. Like, he was prepping for Alvarez. You ain't going from Alvarez to Gamrot on 5 days notice, like, when you're desperately trying to fight to like keep your fucking career alive and not go 0-3 in your last 3. So yeah, BSD's gonna whoop up this bum, finish him inside the first. If he doesn't, if this fight goes past like 1.5, it's a failure. So yeah, watch BSD just like try and have a war with him and just get tagged a bunch in the pocket and look mid. Anyway, hopefully BSD gets the win. I am still a massive BSD fan. I just had very little hope from him against Joel Alvarez. Anyway, let's move on. Next up, we got the battle of the baddies: Natalia Silva versus Alexa Grasso. Don't leak my DMs to either of these two, please. No, I've not DM'd either of these two lovely ladies, but would I? If given the chance, of course. Natalia Silva is the pick here, you know. The tried and true method of WMMA is pick the uglier woman. That doesn't really exist here. I would say face-wise, Natalia Silva is slightly more aesthetically pleasing. She also has the assets in the lower half. But Alexa Grasso also a very solid candidate. You know, both of these two, I would say, are a top 15, top 10 at least. Top 15 at least, probably leaning on top 10 women in the UFC for sure in terms of their looks department. But I'm going to pick Natalia Silva. Talking about the fight, I reckon she's just a better striker, and I still don't think Grasso is that good. Like, yeah, she dropped Shevchenko in the trilogy, I believe, no, in the rematch, sorry, when they fought at Noche, in that draw. She dropped her in the first or second, I believe. I just don't think she's that good. Like, Grasso, I think we just remember, like, a bunch of Shevchenko fights, and was just like, oh yeah, she fought a bunch of times against Shevchenko. She must be, like, roughly the same level as Shevchenko. And it's like, out of those fights, she looked mid as fuck for, like, majority of it. Like, she had moments on the feet, because I think Shevchenko is declining in terms of the stand-up. But, like, Grasso before that, she has 4 losses total. I think, how many of them? One of them's to Shevchenko, obviously. Let's see, who else did she lose to? I can't remember off the top of my head. It's mostly decisions. I think this will be a decision. She lost to Carla Esparza, she lost to Tatiana Suarez, and she lost to Felice Herrick. Like, the Suarez and the Esparza fights probably ain't something that are going to be replicated here. And the wins are like Macy Barber, Joanne Wood, Viviane Araujo. The Araujo win, it's like, do I rate Viviane Araujo? Like, is Araujo that good? I think Natalia Silva's levels better than Viviane Araujo, personally. I'm picking Natalia Silva. She's cute, you know, she's on the way up, she's promotable, she's nice, you know, we'll pick Natalia Silva. She looks like she knows what she's doing, and she knows how to score points for the judges. Also, I'm like almost certain, what's it called, Grasso, like, said she, like, fucking broke her leg after she was, like, originally targeting the Mexico card as a comeback, and then she's like, I broke my leg, can't fight. And I was like, oh, she's gonna be out for like a fucking year. And then she just fights. I'm sure she's obviously not coming in injured, otherwise she wouldn't be fighting, but, like, had a bad leg injury, don't love that. You know, Natalia Silva, maybe Grasso's got the better hands, but I think Natalia Silva's got the kicks. She can keep her at range. She likes that side kick. She's good at moving on the outside. So I'll pick Natalia Silva to get the W. Anyway, let's move on to the feature fight. Feature fight, Jose Aldo versus Ariel Helwani. I am not fucking picking a Canadian to win a fight against Jose Aldo. That is not happening. That is the downfall and the end of the fucking sport, and the downfall end of all logic as we know it. If Jose Aldo, second greatest featherweight of all time, Slim, second, number 2. If he loses to fucking Amy and Zahabi, I might have to put him at number 5, you know? Yeah, I might, even though it's a bantamweight fight, you might have to just be last on the featherweight. Like, Chad Mendes might pass, Zabit might pass him up on the featherweight go list if he loses to fucking Amy and Zahabi, bro. I don't care how old you are, I don't care what fashion it's in, robbery or anything. You should not even leave the fight remotely close enough to be a robbery. Unless it's just like a clear 30-27 and somehow they rob him. But, like, if this is like even 29-28, it's unacceptable. You need to finish this, man. I don't even want a decision. I don't care if it's 30-24. That would be fun to see, though. But you need to put a beating and finish Amy and Zahabi. This man's old as fuck. You're like the same age. It's not even like Zahabi's some up-and-coming, highly skilled, developing prospect with, like, highly, like, knockout power. Like, this guy's not good. Amy and fucking Zahabi, like, what's this dude done? He hasn't beaten anyone good. He beat fucking Javid Basharat. Big deal. Like, big deal. The only person hyping up Javid Basharat was probably fucking Kenny Okoye and MMA Joey. Just because his name's Basharat. You know, like, because he's got a fucking beard. Like, that's literally the only reason people are hyping up Basharat. Because they're like, oh, he's Muslim. Must be good at fighting. He went to a fucking tepid decision against Pedro Munoz, where he looked mid, and Pedro Munoz is like 50. He went Javid Basharat. Okay, cool. You KO'd Aori Trolang. Congrats. You went to a fucking decision with Ricky Tercios, brother. That's not good enough. You lost to Vince Morales and you got KO'd by Ricardo Ramos. Like, I am not picking this man to win. Nothing on his resume is impressive. Absolutely nothing. This man is 12-2. This dude has the record of a prospect. He's 37. He turns 38 this year. He's literally like a year younger than Jose Aldo. I'm not picking him to win. Like, what's Aldo? How old's Aldo? I know Slim will know. Slim will already have replied to the fucking to that comment by the time the page even loads. Aldo's 38. You're literally a fucking year younger than this dude. Like, they're the same age. Aldo's more powerful. Aldo's levels better at boxing. Zahabi's not even a good wrestler. Like, he doesn't really take anyone down. He somehow has 6 wins by TKO. Wallahi, I've never seen this man finish anyone in my life. Like, apart from fucking Aori Trolang, who's a bomb. And Draco Rodriguez. On God, on everything I love, I've never heard of Draco Rodriguez before. Sounds like a fucking SoundCloud rapper. 7-4 record, by the way. So how did this guy get a job in the UFC? This fight actually makes me pissed off to break down. Like, why am I breaking down fucking Aiemann Zahabi vs Jose Aldo? Why is this fight happening? Jose Aldo should have been fighting fucking Figgy or Cejudo or any of these guys. But instead, they really just had to give Aiemann Zahabi a fucking jump up the rankings against Jose Aldo. Could have just done fucking Zahabi vs Kyler Phillips or some bullshit. Zahabi vs... No one cares about Rob Font. Even though, like, Font's... Like, give him Font. You want to give him some old fucking dude? Give him Rob Font. Don't give him a legend of the sport, Jose Aldo. He doesn't deserve that. He's done nothing. He better get KO'd. If he wins, I'm gonna break something on street. If he wins, I'm gonna actually, like, commit suicide. Like, I might commit a hate crime if fucking Amy... If Faraz Zahabi somehow crafts up a fucking magical fucking potion for this man to, like, outpoint his way to a decision, I'm done. If Jose Aldo doesn't put the fucking brakes on, like, beat the brakes off this guy, the sport makes no sense. Anyway, let's move on to the co-main event. Aldo, please chin this fucking bomb. This dude should not be ranked. I refuse to... I'm not, even if he beats Aldo, I'm not putting him in the fan rankings. I'm not having this dude ranked. As I'll just remove Aldo and remove Zahabi. I'm not putting Zahabi in any rankings ever. Let's move on to the co-main event. Women. Again, we got some more female MMA, you know. Fiora Shevchenko. This is actually a kind of interesting fight, I can't lie. Now, will in execution this probably be terrible? Yes. And regardless, like, I'm just say it, I'm just gonna fucking pick Fiora. I have no reason for picking her. I don't know, I just kind of think she's gonna win. Like, if I give you some breakdown and shit, it would, like, if I actually try and justify this pick, I guess it'd be like, Fiora has good kicks, I guess. Shevchenko's older, hasn't really looked good on the feet recently. Most of her fights are winning through just lay and pray grappling. I don't think she's lay and pray grappling Fiora. She looked mid as fuck against Tyler Santos. She didn't even look that good against Grasso. She literally laid on her in the trilogy. There was, like, no striking exchanges. When there were, she looked shit. The rematch, she looked mid. Even the first fight on the feet, she looked kind of mid. She's older. She's had a lot of miles on her. Thing is, women's MMA, like, ages, it's kind of different. You treat age with women's MMA and men's MMA different. Because women's MMA, it's like, men's MMA, you see, like, a 35-year-old challenging for the belt for the first time, and you're like, I don't love that. The thing is, Fiora, it's like, she's younger in the game, she's got not that many fights, and she hasn't lost in the UFC. Now, the thing is, I picked Zhang Weili to beat Tatiana Suarez with confidence, and this does sort of draw comparisons in a way, but I don't hear anyone talking about Fiora as some, like, oh my god, this is the next fucking Khabib or some shit, this is the next, like, unbeatable matchup, the next, like, undoubtable undefeated champion. Like, she has a loss on her record. I forget who it was to. Before the UFC, I think. But Fiora's just got one of those styles where it's like, I actually think that, like, the best base for winning a belt might actually just be, let me know if I'm wrong saying this, the best base to win a title is actually, like, not being this unbeatable fucking nightmare matchup on your way up. Not being this, like, undefeated, oh my god, this person's lurking in the shadows, gotta watch out for fucking Tatiana Suarez or Hamzat or Umar, these kind of guys where, like, these dudes are just gonna win a bit. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Like, that's the type of people that everyone says they're gonna win titles, and, like, not many of them do. Like, hot take, don't think Hamzat's gonna hold an undisputed title ever in his career. I actually don't. I think it's these guys, Umar neither. I think all these guys that get hyped up as, like, they're just definitely, Suarez the same. These guys are just gonna be a champion. There's no other way about it. And then they just look shit. And no, they don't look shit. Sorry, but they just come up short in the title fights and lose to the person with more experience. Now Shevchenko 100% more experience, but I don't think Fiora's that person. I don't think she's got this undefeated record. She's got this, like, fan narrative that's driving her, and she's got pressure on her. I think she's coming in here to deliver. And now, is this going to age terribly? Probably. And, like, the logical pick is 100% Shevchenko, and I don't know why she's an underdog. Like, I was hoping I would be able to, like, craft up a fucking plus 150 underdog pick on Manon Fiorot. And they were, like, evens for, like, the entire duration up until fight week, and now Fiorot's kind of blown up as a bit of a favourite. I don't know why. I guess I don't. What am I saying? I don't know. I'm picking her. It's like the least confident fucking title fight prediction ever. But I think they know something. I think there's a reason. Now maybe that's just retarded because Suarez ended up as like minus 130 and Zhang Weili torched her. So that could be what happens, and I just look retarded. I'm willing to take it though. Like I'm willing to look dumb as fuck and pick Fiorot, for no fucking reason. Like I don't know why. I guess I think she's a better striker than Valentina. I think she's quicker at this stage. I get a bit more thud on the shots maybe. I don't even know. I'm trying to justify it to myself and I can't, but I'm still going to pick her. So yeah, I'm not going to be a bitch. Everyone's going to pick Shevchenko. And yes, I know I'm technically picking the favourite here. This is a fucking underdog. I don't care what you have to say. I'm picking an underdog here to win the belt and you. Because we all want to see Weili Shevchenko, but I feel like we just don't get to see that. We don't get good things in the sport, you know. Anyway, let's move on to the main event. Main event of the evening. Belal Muhammad. Jack Della Maddalena. I'm going to be picking Belal. I don't know. I just have to pick Belal. I've been on the train of JDM's not going to win a belt and he's kind of overrated. And so I have to stick to it. I can't switch up. I can't fence it. I can't be like, I don't know, man. Even though, like, yeah, there's a really good chance Belal gets fucking slept. Because JDM is very good. Like, his boxing's good. And he's technically very good. And he's fun to watch. I've never said anything else. I basically just had to counter. I was never trying to discredit JDM. I was just trying to counter the excessive glaze of Guru and Bedtime, who wouldn't get these guys nuts out of his mouth. Anytime. Now, yes, Prates lost. But, like, anytime I would dare mention Prates, Bedtime's just like, this guy's a bum. He's going to lose. He's shit. But anytime I dare try and critique JDM in any way, bro, the Hafez fight was, like, excuses for the Hafez fight. The Holland fight was not even close. He dominated him. Yeah, the Burns fight, it wasn't even a comeback. He looked tremendous in that fight. Like, you can't just act like all of his fights have been flawless. Like, you can't act like the Hafez fight wasn't a terrible look. You can't act like the fucking Burns fight, even if, yeah, it was 1-1, even if it should have been 1-1, whatever, and it wasn't really that much of a comeback. It's still not the best look to be getting kind of out-grappled comfortably by Gilbert Burns. Now, yes, he was able to reverse at moments and get back up. I think Belal's wrestling, his takedowns certainly, I don't think anyone can disagree. Belal's takedowns are better than Burns. And Burns had a pretty high success rate of takedowns against JDM. And the thing is, where it's like the difference is Burns was able to sort of just like keep mat returning JDM, but he kind of wasn't really able to like hold position for very long. Like, JDM's good scrambles, and Burns, even though his jiu-jitsu is good, his pure jiu-jitsu, his top position grappling in the UFC hasn't been that good. He's 38, by the way. He was 37 when that fight took place, obviously. And, like, I don't know. It's just, like, let me see. What did he go for takedowns? He went 7 from 11. Like, that's too high of a takedown rate for me to be like, yeah, JDM's, like, a really elite defensive grappler. Like, if Burns had gone like 2 from 11 instead of 7 from 11, 2 from 11 with like just a bunch of lay and pray control, I would have been like, cool, JDM, you know, he's good at stuffing him, but when he gets taken down, it's trouble. I would rather you have great takedown defense, but when you get down, it's trouble, rather than you get taken down a bunch and you can kind of get back up. Because then when that transfers to this fight and your takedown defense, I haven't seen as very good. Like, Hafez failed a bunch. Like, he did stuff a lot off Hafez, but Hafez was shooting a bunch when he was just rocked as fuck. Let me get JDM. Jamie, pull up Jack Della Maddalena. Like, JDM's good. If he wins, is it surprising? No. But I don't know. I also just think there's an element of just JDM is too fun to be champ, and we don't get good things in the sport. And I want JDM to win. Let's see, 2023 Hafez fight, where is it? Hafez did go 3 from 20. So that was good takedown defense. A lot of the time, though, Hafez was shooting while rocked, and Hafez did get grappling control. My thing is like, you transfer that over to Belal. Belal gets takedowns. Belal chain wrestles. Belal's cardio is better than JDM. Is his striking better? No. Is his jiu-jitsu tremendous? No. Does he threaten submissions? Absolutely not. The man's never gotten a submission in his life. But I just think his wrestling game is just good, and it's going to take a real strong physical guy like a Buckley to beat him, or a Brady in a rematch. It's going to take one of these guys who can kind of match the grappling strength. I don't think JDM does that. I think JDM is going to be on the feet, and he will have moments when he is there. But Belal took, like, the fight with Leon was way closer than everyone said, but he took him down 9 times. He didn't shoot on Burns. He didn't shoot on Brady. He took down Luke 5 times, took down Wonderboy 7 times. He stuffed all of Myers' takedowns, which were just bad entries. And the thing is, I think Belal, now maybe it's different because Leon is the type to back up, and JDM I don't think is going to just back up, shell up, and let himself kind of get boxed up. Because Leon just sort of backed up and was like, what the fuck, this guy's punching me, what do I do? I don't think JDM will do the same thing. I think JDM will engage Belal in the stand-up, so there is that chance for him to catch him in early exchanges. If the fight goes past the 3rd, unless JDM's just dominating the whole time and he's the one that's able to get his pace going, he's the one that's able to just put it on Belal on the feet and just stuff all his takedowns, which would be phenomenal. I don't see JDM getting like a late finish. Like if Belal is winning this fight, I think JDM's chances to finish this are like first 3 rounds. Am I saying JDM's got like bad cardio? No. But like Belal just makes it very difficult for you to like have success and like get good meaningful offense off. Like Leon is a good striker. He is not I don't think he's a good fighter. I think he's a tremendous athlete. I think he's a good martial artist. I don't think Leon has like a great amount of fight in him and the ability to like grit down, as I said. But even Leon, like, he wasn't really able to get anything meaningful off and, like, land anything crazy on Belal where, like, oh, Belal's in trouble. It was just, like, and yes, the fight was close, but it was sort of like an O'Malley-Marab situation where, yeah, you can kind of technically score at 3-2, but the 2 rounds that Leon won, he didn't really do much. Yeah, 5th round he got on top, cut him open. 3rd round he just land prayed him because he reversed. But, like, I don't think JDM's having any grappling success offensively. I don't think JDM's counter grappling Belal. And the thing is with Leon, yes, he's physically dominatable, but we have actually seen him do shit. Like, we have seen him reverse and get, like, he took down Usman with the trip. He was actually able to take down Colby and almost get, like, a triangle on him. Like, Leon's grappling is good. Like, it's not great, but it is good. But it's not the grappling that's, like, really bad. It's, like, his defensive, like, pressure ability. It's his ability to sort of, like, stop himself from just getting pressured and overwhelmed. He gets overwhelmed very easily, which I don't think JDM does. So I think this fight will be closer than the Leon fight. And you might be like, oh, well, if it's closer than the Leon fight, which was 48-47, then JDM should win or get close to winning. And I think he will. I'm thinking like 48-47, 49-46. My thing is also, like, judges seem to really be unwilling to actually score damage, and they love just scoring takedowns and ground control and cage control. So I think Belal's going to have a lot of cage control in this fight. I think when he is winning, it's going to be real stinky. There is a chance this fight's actually good and JDM just forces Belal to have like a banger and get in a firefight and get in a scrap. JDM could catch him because Belal's defensive boxing isn't the best. And yeah, Pete, you can bring up the similarities to the Luke fight or to the Jeff Neal fight where he fought a superior boxer with decent anti-grappling like Jeff Neal, who just put beats on him and like whooped him up and dropped him bad. Same with Luke. So he is open on the feet, but I think he's shoring that up. He's training with he's training with Bahamondes, who's a sharp striker. I think he's training with the Yair. He's a good striker. He's not the same as JDM, but I'm sure he'll be bringing in guys. I think he's got like a wider variety of like people he can bring in. He's got more money than JDM, I would say. Like, he's got more ability. This sounds like a weird thing to bring up, but like, he's got more ability to like widen his camp and get more looks and get more guys and get more high level boxers. I think Belal's going to be having better boxers, like better bodies in this camp for like training partners and boxers and guys to replicate JDM than I think JDM's going to have. Like, yeah, he's training with Craig Jones. Belal doesn't grapple like Craig Jones. Craig Jones is elite jiu-jitsu. He'll be working on that guard. He'll be working on, I guess, JDM getting up from top. And he can kind of mimic the heavy top control, obviously, because he's a jiu-jitsu guy. He can do all of that. But, like, has he got someone the level of maybe Volk's training with him? I don't know. But has he got like just dude who's in a fight scenario, heavy pressure grappling, great cardio, won't get off your face, just kind of goes forward and doesn't care? I don't know. Like, these are random shit that I'm bringing up, but like, I think Belal's got a few advantages. JDM's coming off a while off. Belal, a bit off since July, but like, JDM hasn't fought in over a year. It's going to be 14 months by the time they get in the cage. I don't love that for your ring rust, I guess, if that's even a thing. He was prepping for the Leon fight, obviously, so he's had notice. It's been a pretty long camp. And could he win? Yes. But, like, and it's conflicting vibes, because, like, there is the vibe of, like, I don't think we get Ilya versus Islam. Like, I think that fight's going to be one of those, like, the dream fight that got away type fucking Khabib Tony or some shit. One of those champ fights that we always wanted to see. And Lucas Tracy will fucking never get to rest because he'll never get to see that fight. And I'll be very upset if we don't get that too. But, like, that is the vibe which would indicate, like, JDM wins and then Islam moves up and then we miss out on that fight. I don't know. I feel like Islam might just move up regardless and just say, oi, Belal, I don't actually care about you. We're not friends. But I don't know what happens. Like, JDM Islam in Australia is like, surely we don't see that. Like, that just seems like something that, like, it's a weird way to break down fights, but sometimes you kind of gotta just go into your bag and be like, alright, UFC, we know it's scripted. Obviously, I'm joking. Like, we know the script makers are cooking up some madness. Can I see a script where JDM steps into a title fight on not short notice, but steps into a title fight, coming off a year and a bit off, fights Belal, KOs him, and then fights Islam Makhachev moving up? Nah. That doesn't happen in my story. Like, in my imagination of... This is the dumbest way to justify a prediction. But am I wrong in saying you can't see that in the fucking script book? Surely. Like, maybe. But, like, that seems, like, crazy. And also, like, when we get these guys, like, that kind of wouldn't have got the shot and they step up, they always give up a good effort. They give up a good solid crack. Not many of them win. Name these guys in the title fights which weren't going to get the title fight. They step up and take their opportunity, and then they win as an underdog. They win as like a what the fuck? How they win? Now Belal's almost 37, which again is bad for him, but still, I think it's like you gotta look at it. It's like Belal just got the belt. It's not like he's some long-reigning champion that's withering away and on the downside of his career. I don't think he's gonna be looking worse. The foot infection that he had and that like health complications, that is a worry. Because apparently he like almost fucking died, which is crazy. Almost, we almost had him. No, I'm kidding. But Belal, I don't like him. But the thing is, what I don't do here is, because this is my psychology. Because if I pick JDM and he loses, if I pick JDM and he wins, I'm like, amazing, sensational. If I pick JDM and he loses, I got my pick wrong and I wanted JDM to win, which doesn't happen. So then I'm doubly as sad. If I pick Belal to win and he wins, I get my pick right, but I'm sad that JDM loses. If I pick Belal to win and JDM wins, I get my pick wrong, but I'm happy. So the win-lose, or the option where we can at least get one positive is if I pick Belal, because then either I get my pick right or JDM wins. Then it's like guaranteed I get something happy. Whereas if I pick JDM and he loses, it's like 0 from 2, you know? So that's my logic. I'm so unconfident on this fucking pick. Like JDM, the odds are closing. I think it's like minus 190 Belal now. Might even close like minus 170 or something. So if you're gonna bet JDM, bet him now, because I think the odds are gonna keep closing. If you're gonna bet Belal, you might as well wait a few days, because I think he's gonna go down to like minus 170. Anyway, that'll do it. Hope you guys enjoyed. Like and subscribe and shit. Yeah, I started at the video saying half an hour. You know that's never gonna fucking happen. So anyway, like and subscribe. Follow my Instagram and Twitter and shit. Left Lane MMA. I got banned off Twitter. I think I told MMA Joey to kill himself. I don't know. I think I said something. I incited violence, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, go follow Azamat Bakov on Twitter. This channel is now an Azamat Bakov fan page. Other than that, I don't know what videos. I'll drop like a UFC personalities / social media game tier list. I'll do that. I'll do a UFC fighters that I would trust to commit a crime with video at some point too. So lots of dumb ideas in the works. And yeah, follow and shit. Bye bye. See you later.